Well, hello everyone. My name is Laina, and I just wanted to actually show you the book because today is the first day I've gotten my hands on the final copy. So basically, because I've been spending the last 4 years working on this book and doing a lot of research and interviewing a lot of women, tonight I felt like not really talking about like a specific story or something from the book. I want to kind of talk about how my friends react to what I do. So I'm Canadian, I'm from Toronto. Primarily my friends, my female friends, we're about the same age. Most of them are very middle class. They all hate metal. So what I thought I would do tonight is actually talk about some of their observations of some of the festivals I've gone to, some of the shows I've reviewed. And so I've gotten 3 kind of major observations. I hope nobody here is, these are all very general assumptions about people. There's going to be some profanity. So the first one is kind of sad, so I'm actually going to take it, I'm going to go to the second one. So the first observation from my friends is called, what they usually say to me is, white people are crazy. So the reason why they say white people are crazy is because in 2008, I believe, I was on Twitter, and I found out that the Melvins were actually playing in Detroit. And from Detroit to Toronto is about a 5-hour drive. So the Melvins at that time had not played in Toronto for about 10 years, or even Canada for 10 years. So I was a huge Melvins fan, and then Down was actually headlining, and I really wanted to see Down. The openers for that show was Weedeater. Somebody mentioned Dixie Dave earlier today, so Dixie Dave is in that band. And because I focused a chapter of my book on Pantera, Phil the singer had made some very politically incorrect remarks about race and racism, and I was really focused on kind of trying to flesh that chapter out. So I wanted to go see Phil in action. Hadn't seen Pantera since the early 90s. So I was on Twitter, I said, oh, I really want to go see the Melvins, and this strange guy said, hey, where do you live? And I said, I live in Toronto. He goes, I live in London, and London, Ontario is 3 hours away. He goes, okay, if you can get up to London, then, I'll take you across the border and we can go see Down in the Melvins. And I'm like, sure. So of course, when I told my black female friends and my middle class female friends, they were like, are you fucking crazy? You're getting into a car with this white man that you don't even know, and you're driving across the border, and you're going to see this guy who's known as a racist in this metal band? And I said, yeah, but I'm working on the book, and I need to figure this out. I want to go. I want to see the Melvins. So anyway, I ended up taking a bus to London, met up with these 4 strange people I'd never met in my life. Luckily, they were somewhat sane. We had a great time. We went across the border. And also, the main thing about when they said white people are crazy is because in Detroit, I thought, well, you know what, okay, even though I'm going with a bunch of strangers and I don't know them, it's Detroit. There's lots of black people in Detroit, right? There's going to be black people at the show, there's going to be black people on the street. So if I get lynched or something, there's going to be some black people there to save my ass, and I'll be good. Now, I did not factor in that this is a metal show, and this is Down. And this is the Melvins. So, of course, we roll into Detroit, and we roll into downtown Detroit, and it's a ghost town. Mm-hmm. The only thing, the concert was in this beautiful theater, and there was a lineup of people waiting to get into the theater. So we're across the street, and we're watching all these people go into the theater. And what scared me the most was seeing this little white dude who was wearing those kind of hip-hop denim pants, those baggy shorts that hip-hoppers wear, with no top, construction boots, and he was swigging a 2-liter bottle of Jack Daniels. And I thought, Jesus Christ, this is not good. So anyway, my friend one of my friends, the guy I went with, he's actually a videographer, and he was doing a video for Weedeater, so we actually got passes to go in. So we go into the show. Weedeater was great. The Melvins was amazing. When Down came in, my friend, this girl that I was with, we decided to stand up at the front of the audience because we had to see, the whole thing. And we were also about, I'm 5'5", she was about 5'7", so we wanted to watch the show. So as we're standing there and down comes in, and there was all these kind of, middle-aged white dudes kind of standing like, where the mosh pit would be. So as soon as down started, these guys ripped off their t-shirts and they started punching each other in the face. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? It was the most violent mosh pit I had seen in my life, so obviously we ran to the back. So as we were running to the back, I noticed a couple of, white pride t-shirts, some Confederate flags, some guy that had a Klan Brotherhood t-shirt, and I was like, whatever. So the show ends, we get into a car, we're driving out of the city, and we got stopped because there was these two hookers standing in the middle of the street, and they were both leaned into, like, talking to somebody in a Cadillac. And so we were, very impatiently going, what the hell is going on? We're trying to get across the border. And so my foolish friend who was driving, he rolls down the window and he yelled some not very nice things to the prostitutes. So as I just mentioned, they were talking leaned over in a Cadillac in Detroit. So what happened was the two prostitutes, and this was really weird to me, because the two women actually looked like they should have been shopping at a grocery store in the suburbs. They were both middle-aged, heavy set, very well, nicely done, but this was 2 o'clock in the morning in Detroit. So anyway, these two women kind of walk off to the side slowly. The Cadillac pulls over to the side slowly, and we drive off. About a block later, we realized that the Cadillac is following us and followed us right till we got to the border and then turned around. So all the time, when my friend realized that the Cadillac was following us, he was like, we were all sitting in the back, and he's like, Duck, he's going to shoot us, he's going to kill us. I shouldn't have yelled anything at the prostitutes. Oh my God, we're going to die. So we got over the border, and we all breathed a sigh of relief. So what happened was I was so proud that I got out of there alive that I went home, I talked to some friends, and they were like, and I was like, yeah, man, it was so much fun.